Hi, my name's Laura, welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a while since I filmed a video and I've come back down here to the garden room because the lighting in here is really good, even though the sound is awful. I basically had to decide whether to go for good sound or good lighting and I chose the lighting. So I hope you can bear with how awful the audio is on this video. I'm here today to do my sort of final wrap up from 2022, talk about the games that I completed in October, November and December because it's been ages since I've sat down and filmed one of these with you, and do a little bit of an update as well on my Beat the Backlog challenge and just sort of wrap that up for the year. In October I completed one game, which was Donut County. Donut County is a game that I have played before, a little bit here and there. I've watched, Ryan got it on his Switch and he played it all the way through and I watched him play the whole thing and contributed, obviously, like there's little puzzly elements to it which I helped with. But I'd never gone through and completed the whole game myself, which is what I did in October. So I played this on the Xbox, so it doesn't count to my Beat the Backlog challenge. And I actually played it on Ryan's Xbox profile, so I will be playing it again on my own profile so I can get my own achievements for it and what have you. Donut County is a game where you play as the whole and you control the whole as it moves around the world, and it will absorb, obviously starting off with quite small items and expanding until it absorbs buildings and rocks and all sorts. It's a really good game, it's a really fun little puzzler. As you work your way through the levels and the areas, it adds more and more puzzle elements like absorbing an egg and then shooting the egg back up to hit things and stuff like that, like the catapult, that kind of thing, and absorbing things in a certain order, food items to kind of make recipes and things like that. So it does get quite interesting, and it's not just a kind of mindless absorb all of the things game. It was really good. The music's really good, the humour in it is brilliant, it's a very funny game and I enjoyed it a lot. So that was Donut County. In November I completed two games. I finished Danganronpa 2, which I'd been playing for most of October, and then I kind of completed that right at the start of November. I really loved Danganronpa 2. I enjoyed it, I would say, almost as much as the first one. Controversial, I don't know, maybe, but I preferred the first game to the second one. I kind of felt like the storyline, I mean obviously this is spoilers for Danganronpa 2, so if you've not played that game or you don't intend to play that game, I'll just hold my hand up when the spoilers stop. I'll take my hand down. So I just felt like towards the end the storyline was quite repetitive of the first game, bringing all the characters back from the first game to have their sort of little moment again. I mean, it was nice, it was a good obviously nod to playing the first game, and it was like, you know, very self-referential I suppose, but it just was a little bit samey at the end for me. But having said that, I don't think this is spoilers anymore. Having said that, I found that the rhythm of the game in terms of sort of the different parts of the, you know, the different elements of the game, where you would do your investigation, you're talking to your classmates, and the trials, all of those were still all brilliant. All the murders were really well thought out and interesting to investigate. The characters themselves, again, when you start playing a game like Danganronpa, or for me anyway, in Danganronpa 2, there's so many characters. Oh, how am I ever going to tell the difference between all of these characters? How am I ever going to like get them all straight in my head? But you just do, because they're all so different and they've got such sort of diverse characteristics and what have you. So I really enjoyed that, and yeah, it was really good. I would put it as like one of my top games of the year, but for me it was just under Danganronpa 1, which is really good. I've got one game left to play, so I'm not sure. I would hope to get to the third one this year. I feel like definitely I would not like to not lose momentum with playing them, so we'll see how we go. Actually, I forgot to mention, Danganronpa 2 is on part of my Beat the Backlog challenge, so that knocks one off. That brings my total backlog down to 40. And then the third game that I'm going to talk about in this video, the second game I finished in November, was A Memoir Blue. This one doesn't count because it was on Xbox, it was on the Game Pass, and I played it because I think it was quite a short game. I just started streaming and I was looking for something that I could stream that was more sort of story based and it was fairly short. I could hopefully play in one sitting, which I did. And Memoir Blue is about an hour and a half long, and it's a story of a woman looking back over her life, and she is like a champion swimmer, and she looks at why she started swimming and what got her into it over her life and her childhood, and it's sort of like connections with her mother and things like that. And it was good. It was very basic in terms of gameplay. There was one bit where I got really stuck very early on, and it just didn't explain really very well what to do, but it was probably more simple to figure out than I figured it out, if that makes sense. Anyway, it was good, it was fine. It's not a game that I would have paid a great amount of money for, but I think I said on the stream, probably like a £5 to £7, something like that, even less hopefully, but if you see it on sale, it's probably worth checking out, or obviously you can have a look at the stream that I did that was the entire game, and then you wouldn't need to play it if you didn't want to. And then we move on to December, where I only completed one game in December, and that was Coffee Talk. I have been playing Coffee Talk probably for half of November, and then obviously finished it off towards the last few days of December. Coffee Talk is a fantastic game. I'd heard so much about it before I started playing it myself, and when I saw that it was on the Game Pass, I just had to give it a go. And I loved it. It was so good. In Coffee Talk, you play as the barista, and you are making drinks for all of the people that come into your coffee shop, which is called Coffee Talk. And you kind of just sit in on their conversations, their relationships, and follow along with their stories. One of the main characters that you talking to is a journalist, and she is writing a story about all of the little stories that are happening within the coffee shop, so that's why you're sort of listening in so much, I guess. But it was really good. It was a really good game. The music was fantastic, the storylines were lovely, all the characters were just perfect, and the only thing I didn't like about Coffee Talk was the latte art, which was impossible with the controls and trying to move things around. I don't know, maybe it's easier on like a PC with the mouse. I honestly don't know, but I found that so difficult. I couldn't manage to make a single cup look remotely good at all. They all looked terrible. So I wasn't overly impressed with that. And because I've been such a good girl, I've actually not been buying hardly any games for the whole tail end of the year. So I only bought one game, which puts me back up to 41 on Beat the Backlog, which was Near Automata, or Near Automata? I would say Automata, so that's what we'll say. I got Near Automata, the End of Your Hat edition. So this is a game that I bought. It was on sale on Amazon, and I'd seen like trailers and stuff for it, and it looks really good. It looks really interesting to me, and it was only sort of £24 or something like that, and it was quite a newly released game for it to be that cheap, so I snapped it up. No regrets. But that does mean that I'm ending the year on my Beat the Backlog is ending the year on the number 41, which is exactly where I started when I recorded my first video about it in August, which isn't great. It's not what I was hoping for, and I'm not disappointed in myself though. You know, it was just a fun little challenge, and it's my challenge, and if I say I won even though I didn't do anything, then I won, so I won. Yay, go me. Having said that, I would say I am pleased that the backlog hasn't gone up since August. It's not gone up at all. It stayed completely the same, which is a big improvement, because normally I'm very impulsive about buying games, and I will just see something and grab it, and that's the end of it, you know. So I do think it's helped sort of rein that in a little bit, which is not a bad thing. But I would say for next year, or this year, 2023, I am going to carry on with the Beat the Backlog format in terms of tracking how many games I play and keeping a number in mind of what I've got on my backlog. However, I'm not going to be as strict with myself in terms of kind of forcing myself to play games, because I do feel like while I've been trying to do this challenge, I've been pushing myself and kind of forcing myself to play games that I've lost the spark with, you know, like I started them, I loved them, I kind of went off them a little bit, but I forced myself to carry on with them, and it's kind of just puts me off playing anything at all. So I'm going to be changing it slightly. I'm going to go back to the way I was playing before, which is sort of flip-flopping between many different games. Like at the moment, for example, I'm playing Harvestella, which I bought this year, you'll see that in my January wrap-up, Toem, Paper Mario the Origami King. I've been playing Witchwood, which I'm streaming, I play that twice a week, and I've been dipping into Death End Request because that's on the PlayStation Plus Extra, whatever they've called it. So there's quite a lot of games I'm kind of playing at the moment that, oh, and Omori, I've started playing as well on the Xbox. And Last Window, Secret of Kate West, that I've started playing on my DS. So I've got all of these games that I can kind of just pick and choose between, depending on what my mood is, and I do think that works quite well for me. So that's the little catch up for 2022 from, you know, October onwards. I appreciate I didn't come on here and update monthly as I was hoping to do, but it is something that I'm committing more to this year. I'm really going to have a push with actually regularly getting videos up this year. Overall for 2022, I was really happy with the amount of games that I played, or games that I finished. I completed 15 games, which is not bad for me. It's one of my better years. I think the only year I did better was 2020, because obviously we had a lot of time at home. I think that was about 20-ish, 21 games that I completed that year. So 15 is really good for me. I'm always hoping to do more every year, of course, but I will keep doing the updates, keep doing the wrap-ups each month of the games that I'm completed or playing, so hopefully catch you for one of those. I would love to know how many games you completed in 2022. Is that something you really try and achieve, like completing loads of games, or are you more of a casual, play what you play when you play it sort of gamer? I'm kind of somewhere between the two. I like to track things and I like to have lists of what I've been doing, but I'm also very much, especially this year, trying to like consciously enjoy everything I'm doing rather than, like I say, pushing myself to complete everything. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it and you want to see how I get on for the rest of this year, then you can subscribe to the channel and follow along. I'd love to have you here, and I will catch you next time.